SimCity was an early success in PC gaming, and it branched out into more advanced games as the years went on. Created by Will Wright of Maxis Studios, the first game came to popularity in the late 1980s, and would continue on into the 21st century, culminating in the release of SimCity 4 in 2003. The game featured 3D rendering from an isometric perspective, and the Rush Hour expansion pack allowed the player to drive vehicles around the city, and partake in missions to either earn money, mayor approval, or lose one or the other. The Sims featured, like your advisors, were based on the first Sims game from 2000, though you could import your town and terrain into The Sims 2. It has been a universally acclaimed entry into the series, though it suffered from performance issues. The focus of this video will be on the sequel, however, called SimCity Societies, and it was announced in 2007 to mild fanfare and excitement, stemming from poor performance. The first exposure I had to the game was the Winter 2007 trailer, which was as funny then as it is laughable now, to say the least. The Sims walk around with sticks far up their asses to wish you happy holidays, so I had negative connotations walking into a full playthrough of the game. I have a pretty beefy PC, with a GTX 3060 and 64GB of RAM, yet this 14-year-old game still struggles to run on my PC. This is the Origin release of the game that is still for sale on that platform, since my new PC does not have a disk drive and my old computer would probably blow up playing it. The disk version comes with a code that no longer works because, according to EA, the one they included in the SimCity box release that I have is for the online portion, which was shut down years ago. So the Origin offline version it is. And we are first presented by the developer, Tilted Mill Entertainment. That is right, Maxis was not involved with this title in any way, and it shows. It's a radical departure from the previous games, which were focused on plopping down development zones, ensuring there was power, water, and services along the way as your plant houses sprouted into apartments and offices. This game has power stations, no lines, and no water. Every building can affect the city in some way, be it a service or a venue for them to get pissed drunk and stir up trouble. It's almost like Cityville in the way you plop down buildings, except without the game begging for you to donate Facebook funds to Zynga. But even that game is long gone now too. There are a ton of unique buildings to plop down for housing, workspaces, and leisure for your Sims. Specifically, the unique architecture and design of many of the houses stood out compared to SimCity 4, which has a huge modding base, but the original game only came with 4 different styles, 3 of which are selected by default. The main new feature of Societies is the emphasis on social development. No more advisors. Your Sims will tell you directly how they feel, either by being happy or going rogue and refusing to show up for work. You can assert your authority in a city, causing cameras to pop up around the block on buildings, or let the free market decide in a capitalist one. This feature also determines what buildings are unlocked. My main problem is that you can't really lose. In the past SimCity games, you would lose if you ran out of money in your treasury. Here you can sit around and wait, but you only pay for the buildings up front. There's no monthly tab to pay for, even with utilities. You only earn money, though income can be affected if employees are playing hooky and not showing up to work. Societies is a unique take on the city building genre. It was a big leap for the series, but one I don't think EA itself was ready to take. SimCity was a leader not only in its genre, but in the industry as a whole back in the day. It sold millions of copies, and had the eventual backing of EA. But as is typical, they took all that potential and threw it out. Not even with this game. It's not really as bad as I thought, but it was definitely a sign of things to come, specifically towards the 2013 reboot. Games like Cities Excel and Skylines have picked up the pieces, combining elements of old games, incorporating zoning with a modern 3D engine and much more optimized performance. It's a shame that such an icon of simulation had to go out like this. Even Microsoft Flight Simulator was brought back with good justice.